Hello, my name is David Aiken, your conversion rate optimization specialist. First of all, I want to thank you for the opportunity to review photo. We'll be going through your entire sales process from your homepage straight through your collection pages, your product pages, etc. Please don't worry about trying to keep up and take notes as I go through this video. As you may have noticed, I have included a bullet pointed document. The idea of this document is to both serve as a kind of a guide to what we're going to talk about, as well as a checklist so you can keep track of what you have implemented as you're integrating them into your site. I will use this video to explain certain items in more detail, give you visual examples so you know what things should look like, etc. So let's go ahead and get started with your home page, and more specific, your hero shot. This is your hero shot you're looking at right now. This is the image that people see when they first land on your site without choosing to scroll in any direction. This row is so important because it's this row's job to help people quickly understand what you do, why they do it with you, and what they should do next. Or in your case, what you sell, why they should buy it from you, and what they should do next. There are going to be two ways that your visitors interact with your hero shot. One is called the F pattern, the other is called the Z pattern. They're both based on the language of the letters of the English alphabet. Um, and let me kind of just explain to you why this is important and how this affects your conversions. Okay. Your logo should be in the upper left hand corner because both the F and the Z look here first. And we're really talking generations. Older people like me, I'm nearly 50 now, we tend to use the F pattern because we were raised actually holding our documents, our newspapers, magazines, letters, etc. And we learned to read line by line. So we go across, we come down, we go across, and we come down. The younger generation, we're really talking millennials and younger, they were raised with the internet being their main form of media, and they're used to these large blocks of content. So they start here too. We both look here first because this is how we were taught to read. The younger generation goes across the top as well because, again, that's how they were taught to read, but then they come down at an angle and back across. Okay. This already shows us we've got some changes to make, but let me finish kind of explaining why this works. Remember, both the F and the Z pattern go straight across the top. By putting my logo on the left-hand side, leaving negative space, that's what we have here, space without any content in it, between our logo and our navigation, we can actually pull our visitors' attentions up to the top bar and deliver a message. So both the F and the Z, we can make them come up, read our offer, come back down. Now, we learned this with softwares like Microsoft's free Clarity program, Hotjar, Crazy Egg. There's a lot of them out there, Lucky Orange. And I believe you have one on there. Make sure we have it and watch those customer journeys. What we need to do is we need to move our logo over to this left-hand corner. Do not use a hamburger menu on desktop. You're causing me to have to click once. And then if I want to click shop, I have to click twice and then a third time in order to narrow down to items I want to look at. Put your logo over here. Consider this like the margin of a lined sheet of paper. So about an inch and a half, put your logo. Break your navigation out. I would just like to see the shop about and contact us across the top. Shop about, contact us. You could probably squeeze in info as well. And then having those be drop downs when I click on them would be appropriate. Okay. Then make your top bar a bright contrasting color. Right now it's white. White and black are considered design elements. So they are not going to be real useful for us in this situation. So you can do greens, you can do blues, you can do oranges, anything that'll pull their attention up. Okay. We get close on this offer. The other offer is exactly wrong because it's promoting free shipping. Free shipping years ago used to be one of the most compelling offers out there. It incentivized people to buy left and right. Then Amazon introduced the Prime program, and pretty soon all their competitors are rushing to try and offer free shipping as well. Well, it wasn't really free, right? Everybody just included it in the price of their packaging. But the consumer's mindset changed from shipping being an offer to an expected benefit. If we don't have free shipping now, they're going to go find something similar or something that'll do on Amazon, and they're going to leave our site. So we don't want to let that happen. So the offer that's close is the 20% off Mother's Day sale, but we don't have an expiration date. Remember, a good offer includes a reason, a compelling incentive or discount, and an expiration date that legitimizes the reason and creates urgency. Okay. It's also got really hard contrast to read. It's really fine print on white. Um, Somebody like me, one of my strokes took the vision from my left eye and I'm half blind in my right. I cannot read this without highlighting it. This font should be heavier, which basically is like saying more bold. Online, there's infinite variations of bold. There's not just bold on and off like on Word. But make sure everything's easy to read, and then make sure you have a reason, a compelling discount, and an expiration date. So I'm going to be giving you ideas of content. But remember, I'm not a content writer. Never have I claimed to be, never will I. It's just to be served, it's just to serve as an example, but feel free to use it if you want to. You could say something like, when Mother's Day is over. Mother's Day is a perfect promo. But when it's over, get ready for spring. First time buyers save 10% through May 28th or whatever day you run it through. Okay. There's got to be an offer up here. It can't be free shipping. So, changes you need to make right away: move our logo to the left, break our navigation out of this hamburger menu to our actual navigation points, and put them over here to the right. Make your top bar a different color, bright and contrasting, but it should be complementary. So if you go pull this brown into a color wheel, it'll tell you the proper family to put your top bar in to look good, which is a compelling part of conversion rates. Okay. Then keep your header sticky. That's what's making so it stays there with me. The idea is I can see that I can get to shop no matter where I'm at on the page. Okay. This has been happening a lot lately on Shopify, where designers have gotten kind of bored, so they're experimenting around with different layouts. The problem is they're not thinking about your visitor when they're doing that, and the fact that you're going to pull away all attention from your top bar and that opportunity to establish a sell right out of the gate. Okay, let's talk about your hero shot image and what needs to happen here. um, Excuse me. From what I can see, we're headed in the right direction with our imagery. Looks like probably an attractive girl wearing one of your products. The problem is, I can't see all of that. The aspect ratio for the background image is way off. She's ginormous. She should be small and over to this side with this kind of lightish background color stretching over to this whole side. So the way you balance this is kind of 30% for your image and 70% for your messaging. You can cheat at 60/40, but she should be small. I should be able to see the whole strap, all of that here. This then becomes a lifestyle shot because she's actually out there using my product. Okay. So it shouldn't be hard to get a designer, if you're not comfortable or capable to do this, to go create this image with her over here, 30 to 40%. And then the rest, we just want this light colored background because we're going to put our messaging on it. But now our messaging is going to be a dark font rather than a light font so that we keep our contrast high. Okay. Um, Now let's talk about our messaging and what it should say. Remember, it's this row's job to help people quickly understand what you do, why they do it with you, and what they should do next. There are really three types of headlines I want you to use. I want you to use what's called a super headline. That's a small font that goes above your headline, which is this larger font, and then a sub headline, which you have here. But we're going to break out our content differently because showcasing your brand, I don't really know what that means when I land on the site. It doesn't really tell me what you sell, right? So in your super headline, and this is what a super headline looks like with these little bursts of information with a pipe. That's what this little line is called in between them. This is what people will read first, and they'll just kind of scan through it. So what we want to say here is your brand, your style, your strap. Yes, I stole that from further down the page. Then in our large font, we want to let them know what we do. Personalized leather and leather straps and accessories. I left the straps out of there. Um, Sorry, let me just fix this real quick so I don't get too. All right, and then in our sub headline down here, we're going to say elevate your style and business. Okay, so we've told them it's going to be your brand, your style, your strap. We sell personalized leather straps and accessories, and elevate your style and business. So we've taken those key points that can be found by digging down deeper throughout the process and put that in their mind right here first. The reason, by the way, we put the image over here and our messaging over here on the left hand side has to do with how we read. Remember, we read left to right. We never have a call to action button to be either white or black. Even though it's contrasting and stands out, it's a design element, not a color. So this should be a burnt orange or a blue, something that has some style to it. And then do shop and save and make that font a little darker so it's easy to read. Okay. From here, I want to hit them, if you can, with the big three credibility builders. And I'm going to take some time and tell you a story about why the icons and short descriptions are so important. So sit back, this will take a minute. And it really goes back to traditional media. So we're talking magazines and newspapers, and we're just going to use magazines for this example. With early magazines, if you were to open up to one of their articles, you'd have a much different experience than you do today. The publishers of early media felt like people were buying their newspapers and magazines to read their content. So they stuffed every word they possibly could on a page. So if you opened up to an early article in a magazine, you're going to see just these paragraphs of text, and that's it. Okay. They had some success selling subscriptions. However, people were not reading all of that content. So they had a high churn rate, which is just a fancy way of saying cancellation rate. People would buy it, they wouldn't find the value in it, so they'd cancel. Um, Executives came together and they decided they had to do something or they're going to go out of business. So they started to run what was called experiments, or what we now today call split testing, A B testing, or multivariate testing, depending on what school you're brought up in. And it's all very easy to understand. These are going to be real experiments they ran with fake numbers. The first experiment they ran is they send out 1,000, remember fake numbers, 1,000 magazines in their traditional format. This was the paragraph text. They then send out 1,000 magazines in an experimental format, which was paragraph text plus a relevant picture. They then polled their clients. And what they learned is those subscribers that received the version with the picture in it had a much higher read rate, or they were much more likely to have read that content than those that didn't. And it makes sense because as humans, we are compelled to look at imagery. No matter where we're at, if there's a picture there, we're going to look at it right away. We also digest information from a picture faster and more accurately than we do by reading. If you have 10 people reading a paragraph um, describing a picture, they're going to come up with 10 different pictures in their mind. However, having 10 people look at the same picture, they're going to get a pretty good idea of what we're talking about. So, um, pretty soon, all media has images, whether it be a newspaper, different magazines, flyers. Everybody's learned that this helps. And even today, if you open up a magazine right now, I'm willing to bet you're going to find a picture. I'm also willing to bet you're going to look at that picture first. It's just how we're wired as people. Okay. So we get down the road a little bit and they decide to run a new experiment. Now it's their new normal, which is paragraph text plus a relevant picture versus paragraph text plus relevant picture with the addition of a caption. Now, granted, this is back before captions became photographer credits due to all the lawsuits. They used to be just a quick sentence that explained the picture. So, what would happen is people would open up to that magazine, they'd see the picture, they'd read that caption because it wasn't a big commitment, it was just one sentence. That caption helped them understand what was happening in the picture better. Understanding what was happening in the picture better drove more interest in reading the article text. Reading the article text created more value in the magazine, reducing churn or cancellation rate, which all kept magazines in business and newspapers in business. And we'll see how they do over the next 10 years. But that's a lot of explanation to tell you that this little icon serves as the picture. This short description serves as the caption. And in the hierarchy of how we can deliver information to our clients, the number one most likely type of content to be read is an icon and short description. Coming in at number two is a headline with bullet points, and the least likely to be read is paragraph text. We just don't like to read it. So, what do I want you to do here? Well, I want you, if you can, to do, and I think you have these, but to do a truck with free shipping, um, some sort of customization icon with free personalization, and then a shield with safe and secure checkout. And those are all going to fall right across here. Remember, the Z is going to go here, down, and across. And we're actually, by putting that content across here, we're going to turn the F, which is, remember, it goes straight across and then straight across. We're going to make it an E because people's attention will be drawn there and they'll look at that. So, what have we accomplished? Well, they landed on the page. They saw your branding, which matched what they saw in your ads. As they're coming across, they come up and they read, because of the bright colored top bar, that there's an offer. It's for this reason, and it's going to expire in 5 days. If I'm going to buy this, I need to consider doing it quickly. We come down, we see where we can navigate to. As they are cutting back across, whether it be the Z coming back this way or the F coming down and across, they're learning that it's your brand, your style, your strap. Then they're learning that we offer personalized leather straps and accessories. And then you can elevate your style and business, or whatever content you can come up with that's better than that. But remember, the idea is to highlight it with our headline what we do, with our super headline the features or the benefits of it, and then with our sub headline, we're going to enhance the other two pieces. They're going to have a bright colored button that says shop and save, that tells them where to go next, and then they're going to see that they get free shipping, free personalization, and safe and secure checkout. We've accomplished all that without them having to scroll, without them having to put in any effort and only reading a sentence or two. Okay. That's our goal, is how do we cram information in their mind? Okay. From here, we got a lot of good stuff, but I'd like to see this social proof row, the as seen in, come up just below our credibility builders. If I was doing this review for you 10, 15 years ago, I would have been telling you the opposite. I would have been telling you push this way down. It's distracting. But the world's changed, and it's changed significantly. Um, the reason I would have been telling you different advice 10 years ago is your average customer age was younger. It was a different generation. People of my generation and older, um, we tend to believe marketing messaging. If we see it on TV, on the radio, in a newspaper, in a magazine, wherever, uh, we tend to think it's true. It's why magazines were able to sell so many X-ray glasses to young men back in the day. Call it gullible, call it naive, whatever you want. It's just how we were raised, and it's hard to change those habits. Um, that's in stark contrast to the younger generation, so millennials and younger. they've been raised in a very deceptive world. The world's constantly lying to them, and marketing messaging is the worst of it. They look at it in very best case as being largely exaggerated, in very worst case a flat out lie. They have all had the experience or know friends or have heard the stories of somebody buying an ice maker online for $200 and getting 3 ice cube trays and a bottle of water. So they look for outside verification, or what we call third party verification, that now today is called social proof, which is other people saying that your products are valuable. Versions of social proof are logos we recognize, 5-star ratings, testimonials, video testimonials, social media touches, anything that looks like somebody else saying that what we have is valuable. So let's go ahead and pull up the as seen in right below here so we can establish that we're for real right out of the gate. From here, we're going to move this down a little bit. I like the icon short description and I like the way it looks, but I feel like it's more important to get them into the type of product they're interested in sooner than later. So we're going to add what's called a category row. Your category row is going to be 6 boxes across. Use this space if you can and this space as you can, so we're not overcrowding it. You should be able to. And it's going to have a box with a picture of straps on it, all. A box with a picture of a luxury strap on it with Lux. A box with a picture of a classic strap on it. You know what it's going to say? Classic, right? So we're going to cover all Lux classic pattern, designer, and accessories. This is our second attempt at getting them into it's actually our third attempt at getting them into the type of product they would buy. Number one attempt should be our navigation. So it should be, looking here and I can see, okay, I'm interested in something really nice. So I'm going to look at Lux. Our second attempt is our button here, which when I click it is going to take me to a page that just has these 6 boxes on it. So I can then narrow down to the type of product. Our third attempt is our visual navigation, which is this category row, which has all Lux, classic, pattern, designer, and accessories on it. Okay. All of our efforts need to be focused on getting them to look at the products that they're likely to buy. We are going to enhance this. And I know you've went and did a lot of your homepage based on Story Brand, which, wow, what an excellent um, strategic piece that is. However, if you don't execute it right, you're going to talk too much about yourself, not enough about how you're going to help their life improve. Um, and we risk alienating our customers. Okay. So our priority is to put our products in front of our customers. We use who we are and our story to support, not replace those products. Okay. So we've got our category row, which is trying to filter me into luxury or into designer or into accessories or whatever I need at that point. Okay. If I don't take action there, the next thing we want to produce would be our product rows. Okay. And we're going to have a product row for each of the category, except for all. Okay. We're going to have a product row for luxury, a product row for classic, a product row for pattern, a product row for designer, and a product row for accessories. They don't all have to be stacked right on top of each other. You can insert content like this, but I never want content on top of content on top of content. These have to be divided up by our products. Okay. So within our product rows, let's just say rather than trending, this is luxury. We're going to have our products, and the images of these are great. Your photographer's done a nice job. They're isolated all of that. We've got their title, which is good. What we don't have is their 5-star rating, which is social proof. And I think it's ugly too, but it needs to be there. We always have at least one item on sale. This is playing to the people who don't necessarily give a darn which one they buy, but they are value oriented. They want to get the best deal possible. Okay. So we're always going to have one on sale. The original price will become gray with the slash through it. The sales price will be black. Okay. We'll have a little thing up here that says on sale that stands out. Okay. I also want you to have, and usually it's one of your more expensive items, but we'll just say the James Skinny. We're going to mark this one not on sale. We're going to mark it as limited availability. That makes people think popular, makes people think selling quickly, and it plays off fear of loss of opportunity. So if I really like this skinny one and I'm thinking about it, I can, make the decision to buy it quickly so that I don't miss out on it. Okay. So you're going to have it do this same treatment to all 5 product rows. And like I said, you can intermix them with your content rows. After your first product row, which remember is going to come before all of this stuff, it's going to come right here underneath your category row. We're going to have our first product row. After that first product row, I want you to add a testimonials row. Okay. Again, this is playing off of social proof. It's really important today. So this is a good social proof row. So go ahead and put this underneath your first product row. Okay. Then you'll do another product row and just mix in your content rows. Looking at each of these content blocks, they've all been executed very well, except for buttons should never be white. Make it a burnt orange is probably going to be most complementary. This one, blue, would be okay, but burnt orange is going to carry through the best. But intermix content rows with product rows going forward. From there, we've got a featured product, which is the James. This is completely okay. Generally, it follows your last product row. Then we have our featured, add featured product here. You always have your featured row item on sale. So remember, light gray with a slash through it, black, 5-star rating right here. Above your button, add your 3 credibility builders. So free shipping, free personalization, and safe and secure checkout. Below your button, put your credit card types you accept, the little icons, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, etc. And then make your button, remember, we don't use black or white. Again, burnt orange is probably the best color for this family. Okay. After that, I was so tickled to see that you guys have taken on social responsibility. It's every day becoming a bigger and bigger, having a bigger and bigger impact on conversions. So good job here. No need for any changes. Right before we get to the footer, I want you to add, by the way, this is good, but I would say in the news or something, because blog is kind of a turnoff. It's also way more impactful if you have some images with it. Remember the impact of images with content and affecting its read rate. Right here where you got this white bar, I want you to make it larger, and I want you to repeat your super headline, your sub headline, your 3 credibility builders, and your call to action button. So as they reach the bottom, they're able to trigger action and get involved. Your footer looks beautiful. Nice job. We're going to have a button here that says shop and save. And remember, we're going to have a button up here in the hero shot that says shop and save. When I click on that, it's going to go to a collection page, not exactly like your shop all page. You've got one similar. Let's see, I think it's in here. Maybe it is the all page. Perhaps it's the one you gave me that you said you think possibly confuses people. Let's go find that real quick. Sorry about this. You're going to see a little bit of the housekeeping. All right. This is what my side of Fiverr looks like. So this is another way to do a category row where you are bouncing between product lines, right? We've got the shop by collection here, which would be your category row. You may have straps here, journals, totes, etc. Okay. So when I land on my category page from the shop and save button, um, it should pull me to a row that has all of the different product lines that I can then narrow my journey down into the actual product line I need. The imagery on your sites are beautiful. Just try to avoid um, prioritizing the wrong information. So cutting off her eyes is difficult for people. You'd be better off to maybe cut off the bottom of the image. Okay. But mainly what I'm worried about is they hit this section and can then click into the type of product. So if I'm here looking for straps, I can click on straps. If I'm looking for memory card wallet, I can click on a memory card wallet. Okay. All right. Let's go to an example of your actual product collection pages. So we'll go into shop, we'll go into Lux. Great. Um, the image at the top is pushing down our straps a little too much. Okay. Remember, people aren't going to read this content. So if we reduce this to the Lux collection with 3 or 4 bullet points of what makes it luxury compared to the other ones, and shrink this picture down at least until they're seeing the tops of your product. Okay. So we really have about this much space we can dedicate. Now, if we take the filter and this row off, we gain another inch, and all of a sudden we can almost be showing the full product. Which, remember, this is the start of your sales funnel. If I have clicked on Lux and want to see that product, that's exactly what I want to interact with. And we don't want to distract them from doing that. Okay. So I'm just checking through my notes. Remember, always keep an item on sale, which we have. This one's low stock, so that's playing off limited availability. Same idea. So good move there. But always have an item on sale to take advantage of those people that are looking for the deal. And remember, original price in light gray with a slash, sales price in black. Okay. That's going to happen across all. There's not really any major changes needed for your collection pages. They're all solid. All right, let's dive into our product page, which again was very well designed initially. So there's not a lot that has to happen here. Title's in the right place. Remember, if I'm on sale, original price is light gray with a slash through it. Sales price is black. Move reviews below it. Okay. Above our button, we're going to add our credibility builders. So free shipping, free personalization, safe and secure checkout. Make the button a different color and put our credit card bill numbers right below there. Okay. Just like we did for the featured product row on the homepage. We've got paragraph text, paragraph text, paragraph text. It's going to be read a lot more if we do bullet points, bullet points, bullet points, or icons and short descriptions where possible. I was super happy to see we've stuck this additional information in accordions where I don't have it in my way. From here, we've got icons and short descriptions giving me some of the major benefits. Images with important information. The rest of this page is well designed, beautifully done. So no need for changes there. I then go to your checkout process. So let's hit that. Click add to cart. I was happy to see we have a really visual interaction. It doesn't just add a +1 up here. It takes me to an actual cart. As I click on checkout, come on. This has happened to me a couple times where it hangs. It's something we'll want to keep an eye on. Where you're using Shopify's 4-step checkout process, which on the hierarchy of reasons people abandon cart, this is the 4th most common reason. And It is estimated that between 10 and 20% of people who abandon cart do so because of this four-step checkout. We've got to make it a single page checkout, which means we are going to simply add the credit card information here so that they can click. There'll be a button, they confirm their shipping address, they'll put their credit card information in. Then when they're clicking here, they're actually paying you, not going to the next step. Okay. In the document, you're going to see that I gave you a graph breaking down the main reasons for cart abandonment. Take some time and consider those. This is the biggest one that's affecting you. Um, the rest, I think you're doing pretty good on. There are some you can't do anything out, like the credit card being declined. Um, but you've got plenty of payment methods. Um, your policies are clear. Your website has never crashed on me. It's ran a little slow at times. Um, I can see the costs pretty clearly. Everything else is good as you look through there. Okay. Always have your form fields on a colored background. Um, it just makes each field stand out and easier to read and interact with for people who have issues. Always have abandoned cart software. If you're not familiar, essentially what abandoned cart software does is if somebody doesn't finish checking out, it sends them an email, or I recommend a text saying, you didn't finish checking out. Here's 10% off if you come back, or whatever the discount you said is. Um, it's important to communicate the way people communicate, though. And today, people don't email anymore. And mostly email is spam and work, right? Those are the two reasons I use it. Um, so we want to communicate with people the way that they communicate now, which is through text messaging. So imagine this: somebody gets halfway through checking out, um, their kid distracts them, or their boss comes in, or whatever. A half hour, they get a text saying, "Hey, did you forget something? Come back. I'll give you a 10% off or $10 off or whatever." If you come back and check out, you're going to have a much higher chance of pulling them um, back into your pipeline, or into your funnel, I should say. All right. The last thing I did is I hopped in and I did a page speed analysis on the site. We scored a B, which overall doesn't sound bad until you start to look at how it visualizes. I don't start seeing anything until almost 2.5 seconds. Remember, bounce rates. That's the people who come to your site and leave immediately, which is almost always the largest portion of content or of traffic that we lose is to bounce. Happens in the first 2 to 3 seconds. So during that critical time, when people are deciding if they're going to hang out or not, we're showing them nothing, 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 nothing. Our first contentful paints at 2.3 seconds. If you see here, it's supposed to be under a second. Time to interactive is not bad. I'd rather see it be more like a second and a half. That's how long it takes for the entire page to load and become interactive, meaning I can click on things. Your speed index is at a 2.4. This should be under a 1.3. And Google is penalizing heavily on all of these things now. So not only are you not going to be ranked from a search engine perspective, you're going to pay more per click. You're going to be pushed down in their priorities because of page speed. So I have to recommend a couple things. I have to recommend you fix your page speed and you go to a one-step checkout. Those are both items that's very hard for someone to do on their own. I often get asked, Dave, can you fix those items, or can you integrate all these changes for me? To which I have to answer no. Um, I've had several strokes. They've taken away large percentages of my business vision, but just as challenging, and you'll see this in the document, I can no longer type. Everything is speech to text. Um, so you may see some oddities in the document I'm providing you. I apologize for that. That being said, there is a gentleman in Toronto named Rick that approached me some time ago and proposed that he learns how to integrate everything I recommend. He's doing that, of course, to gain business, but he does a great job and he's someone you can trust. So if you need help, reach out to me. I'll connect you. If not, reach out to me with questions. I'm happy to answer them. I request you do that through Fiverr. That's how they ask us to communicate. They're great to me, so I honor what they ask. All right, we'll chat soon. Thank you.